What's going on, guys? This is Carlos, your host of the Just Fans podcast. Thank you guys for joining us live this Wednesday night on really on a rare Wednesday night. We rarely ever do any of these, but I'm joined here, of course, with my co-host Rios. What's up, Rios? What's going on?
Going on? I haven't stopped drinking since 11 o'clock.
Yeah, no kidding. We had a show this morning, and the whole time you got you down like 5 of them on the show. So I'm waiting to see how many more you down for this hour or whatnot. God, how does your liver work, sir? How are you still intact?
That's a good question. It's a very good question.
Yeah. And of course we got Mitch from the Hardcore Sports Network, buddy. How you doing today, dude?
I'm doing good. I'm watching Orange Cassidy getting beat up, and yeah, I'm excited for this.
There you go. And I wanted to introduce a friend of mine that I know him from high school for years. Great dude. I'm happy to have him on the show. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to wrestling. Way better than me. Way better than Rios. I'm sure him and Mitch are gonna go talk some more wrestling than we are. We're just gonna sit back and relax. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I want to introduce my buddy Justin. Justin, how's it going, man? Let him know how you're doing today.
It's going good. Going good. Excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
No.
Yeah. I promise
Awesome.
you, I am not going to be more than Mitch.
Oh, okay. No worries, man. No worries.
I don't
All
know,
right, so-
man. I just watch AEW and WWE. That's it. I don't watch Impact, Ring of Honor, none of that.
Oh shit.
I don't. Just Ring of Honor, AEW and
I'll pretend I only watch AEW and WWE and not get into New Japan and
Hey,
Impact.
if you talk about Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks, that's
Oh,
fine.
yeah. There you go. There you
I mean,
go.
I know who they are, so.
There you go. Rios.
I'm the person CM Punk dropped the pipe bomb about back in 2013. So let's just put that out of the way real fast.
Oh, man. Okay. There we go. There we go. So we got our first comment. Yeah, in his LA Knight voice. There's Sam. And then we got, it says, Do It Rios, epic shirt, by the way. And of course, big shout out to the Undrafted Hoops guys. What's up, fellas? How's it going, bud? Y'all check them out. If you're into basketball, great podcast right there. Y'all check them out, please. First of all, before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to Dan and Let's Talk Sports and Sideline Sports. Thank you guys for letting us be on the network. And of course, I can't forget about the man himself, Mitch Kofsky from the Hardcore Sports Network. Thank you guys for letting us on the network. We love you guys. We appreciate y'all. Thank you guys again for everything.
And it's love working with you guys.
Oh, appreciate you. All right, man. So let's get started really quick. I want to go around kind of like a round table kind of a thing. I want to ask you guys, I want you guys to think about the very first match that you saw for wrestling. Doesn't matter where it was. Very first match. Think of your very first match, or what was the match that got you into wrestling? When you think back to the very beginning, to the genesis of your wrestling fandom, what was a match that really got you into wrestling? Okay. I'm going to start off with Rios. Rios, can you think of a match off the top of your head that really meant the most to you?
The first one I remember watching on TV was back in the 80s, man. It was Macho Man against I can't even remember the guy who it was. I just remember watching like, man, this is pretty cool. You know, a little kid watching this, I'm like, man, it's pretty awesome. And I tried to, get more and more into it. And then eventually I started getting, going to my friend's house to watch the pay-per-views, watch the pay-per-views, and then the Attitude Era happened, and just got hooked from that point.
Okay, so would you say Macho Man is one of your top favorites, or?
He was the first one I remember seeing. Him and Hogan. I wasn't a big fan of Hogan. I was like, he's just a big dude. He didn't have a whole lot of moves.
Yeah.
One of my early favorites was the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, when he was like coked out of his mind, just running through this.
R.I.P. Warrior.
Yeah, R.I.P. Ultimate Warrior, man. Yeah, that guy was great. He was great to see.
Well, I didn't know at the time he was coked out as a kid. I was like, man, this guy has so much energy. And then as an adult, that man was sweating cocaine.
Yeah, I'm sure all of them were Rios at that time. I'm sure all of them were
cocaine and HGH. Woo!
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Mitch, what about you?
About Rios, they're vitamins.
It's vitamins.
Like Flintstones kids.
Yeah.
Mine's actually funny. I was sitting in my basement, ironically, right here, not in this chair, but right here, and I was just flipping through the channels, and I see SmackDown. It was Randy Orton versus Mark Henry, just on a regular Friday Night SmackDown. And then a couple segments later, he had the famous promo with Rey Mysterio, like Eddie Guerrero's been in
Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah. So that what caught me into it, that promo. So it's like, damn.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. And I remember watching that, dude, and I was in high school when that happened. I think I was a senior year,
Yeah.
and it was just like you obviously were telling us how old we are now, but that was a great promo right there, dude. Like that Randy Orton, I feel like it cemented Randy Orton's like legacy as far as like being like the legend, because I think he was going with the whole legend killer thing at the time.
Yeah.
He's
So
the ultimate heel.
yeah, that elevated that level for him, dude. Like, yeah, I agree. That's a really good one, Mitch. I like that one.
Yeah.
Justin, what about you, bud? Let's share it. Which one? What was your wrestling moment? The one that got you hooked?
So my first match, not necessarily the one that got me hooked. The first match I distinctly watched was the main event of 14, which would have been, I want to say it's Austin. That's the one with Austin and
Bret Hart?
No, Austin and Austin Hart and Tyson as the enforcer.
No, Shawn Michaels. I'm sorry.
Shawn Michaels,
I'm sorry. Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the one that got me, but what like hooked me and like that I was 7th grade, WrestleMania 17, the classic TLC 2, which would have been Edge Christian, Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys,
Yep.
and it's the spot where you see Edge just spear Jeff Hardy out of the
That was
ladder.
crazy.
The
Yep,
ladder, yeah.
Man.
That is
takes
probably
me
one of my
back.
favorite spots of all time.
Oh yeah, that's a good one right there, dude. That one, I remember that was at the Astrodome here in Houston, if I'm
That
not
was
mistaken, back in
Houston.
01.
Yes, that was Houston's, and that was also the big like double turn main event where Austin went heel and lined with McMahon, and Rock turned face right before he went to Hollywood.
Right. Now, I don't know if you remember, because I was watching it not that long ago. I have a Peacock or whatever, and I was watching it again, and I just remembered, because the last time I had seen it was like 8th grade, and then I rewatched it again because I was trying to get ready as much as I could for like these shows that we're going to be doing here and there in the summer, and I was watching. I remember seeing, dude, because Austin was the guy he's from Texas, so he was literally just down the road from Victoria, Texas, 2 hours away from here. And I remember every time Rock was like at his peak at that time. He was so popular, he was so over with the fans. But Austin, I remember when they came here, every time The Rock did any move, he could barely breathe, and everybody was booing him.
Yep.
Like everybody in the arena was letting him have it because we were all going for the Texas guy. And with, like you said, Justin, it was like that double turn out of nowhere. He turns heel. Fans were shocked. It was the ultimate heel turn for a WrestleMania, with Austin being that over. Not only being over as for himself, but because of the wrestler that he was, but because he was the hometown hero, if you will.
Yeah.
I guess for me, it was Hell in a Cell, 1998 Mankind Undertaker. That's the match that cemented that to me. I was like, wow. Quick story. I used to live down south in McAllen, Texas, right? Just border town at that time. And I didn't have cable. I didn't have cable. I whatever. And so my next door neighbor, who was my classmate in I think it was 4th grade, he was like, hey, you want to watch the show? My parents have bought the pay-per-view. So we went. And dude, I remember seeing like that match live. It was like a July. I think it was like summer of '98. And I remember watching that match live and seeing Mankind get thrown off the cell. I think within the first maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that of the match.
Oh yeah, like first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
first 10 minutes in, and I was like, that's over. It's over. There's no way.
Oh, like that man's dead. Like there's no way he's gonna get up.
They literally committed murder on live television. Like, what's going on, right?
I'm like, this is awesome. He died on TV.
And then like then you see him going up the ramp, and then he gets back up from the gurney or whatnot, and he starts climbing up the cell again, and then goes at it with the Undertaker, gets a choke slam through the cell, which apparently wasn't supposed to happen, and he hits the ring hard. And then he goes off, and they finish the match with a thumbtacks, and it was an amazing match. That to me was the thing that got me into wrestling.
His thumbs up with his tooth.
Oh, the tooth was in his nose.
I'm
the
like,
tooth
bro.
was in his nose. Yeah, man. Yeah. So
I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever.
This is the greatest thing ever. Why is nobody funding this now? Sam says Shawn Michaels and Triple H putting Undertaker in a body bag, then seeing them run when he rose up.
Oh yes. Oh man.
Yeah,
Just
that it's just
That
so like. Go ahead, Justin.
I was gonna say that whole gimmick is just it stands the test of time. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah,
Undertaker.
that
Oh,
Undertaker gimmick.
definitely, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about now is let's dive deeper a little bit into WWE. So I think Justin, you wanted to talk about a little bit about Money in the Bank. Is that correct?
I was until they
Uh-huh.
finalized at least the men's roster this week, and now I'm like,
Mhm.
if it weren't for what I'm assuming is going to be one of the two main events, I would
Mhm.
probably be upset with this.
Is there a certain match that you're really looking forward to on this card?
Cody Dom will be A+. Just because that is the biggest babyface in wrestling right now. I don't care what anyone
Cody.
says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
versus probably the biggest heel I've seen in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Roman?
What was that, Mitch?
Is he bigger than Roman right now?
Oh, absolutely. Roman can still Roman's heelness is more of the not the we hate you heat, but it's the we're tired of you heat.
We're tired of you. Yeah, I can
That
see
sounds
that.
about
Yeah.
right. That sounds about
But
right.
Dom's heat is genuine, shut the fuck up. There's a promo he cut right after Mania, and it's the entire Judgment Day in the ring, and Balor's trying to egg him on to talk, and the crowd's just booing him so bad that you could tell they ran the segment over because he couldn't talk. That's to me
Nice.
is the biggest
It's
go
heat.
home heat ever, and it's natural. It's completely he did nothing but what he was told to do, which is go out there and do it. I'm excited for that match, and I'm excited for Seth and Finn, but that's because I'm a huge Finn fan, and I think that's going to be.
Dude, Finn is great. I love watching Finn in the ring, dude. He is great overall. I want to go back to what you said about Dominic and Cody. That match right there is going to be great, in my opinion as well. Just because, like you said, I want to piggyback on what you said, Justin, about Dominic Mysterio. He's got natural, heat, as you want to call it. I was listening to Jim Cornette a while back, and Sam, when I had him on, he brought up a good point. You can't always agree with what Jim Cornette says at all, but he makes some really great, interesting point about Dom, and he said Dominic Mysterio has that ability of you always know a guy that is always that whiny, you know what I mean? And you want to see more.
You
more
naturally
of him. You just natural hate. It's not hate like you said, Romans, where they're just shoving him down your throat kind of a thing. It's natural hate because you just generally don't like this guy.
This is a generational hate.
Generational hate, exactly, and it's based on the thing that made me laugh, right? I think it was before they did the Backlash show, was when he bragged about how he was in jail for 24 hours or something like that.
Oh yeah,
and they cut a whole promo of him doing the hard time and stuff like that. And it's a guy that somewhere in our lives we know a guy that probably got arrested for a little bit.
In our own friend circle, it'd be there for a couple of hours. Oh man, I did hard time. Bro, you signed your name and you're at an hour. Shut up,
dude. You were in county for a weekend because you got arrested on a Friday, and all you had to eat was a bologna sandwiches. Chill out. You're not hardcore, and so
you're not a hardened criminal, sir.
But what works so well with that is not only is he leaning into the hard time thing, but it's the fact that he's. I don't want to say latched onto, but he's with Rhea, who he's able to feed into, and so even going to your point about the jail segment, what I love about that is throughout the entire segment, it's his mom and Ray calling the cops, and he's sitting there calling mommy, and it's Rhea Ripley, and you're just like, this little asshole is the biggest piece of shit in the world, but you can't not love him.
Right. He brings that. Mitch, what are your thoughts on the whole Dominic Mysterio thing, bud?
I mean, I like it. It's something different that we haven't seen in a very long time. And with Dominic fighting his dad at WrestleMania, Rey Mysterio, it was that was the point. If he actually won that match against Rey, his heel would have been higher Roman Reigns.
I agree.
With his heel heat. Can you imagine that? It's kind of there was I can't believe I'm about to say this. It's like when Fandango beat Jericho and then he just like fell off the earth. But it's just like no one expected that. No one expected that. But with Dominic beats Ray, it'll be like, oh shit, now we're done.
It would have set him over the top.
Yeah,
It would
exactly.
it would have made him a bigger heel, like you said. The biggest issue that I had with that match at WrestleMania. So they built up the storyline, and I felt like this was one of the better storylines that WWE has actually done in a long time.
Yeah.
The way that they built it up, the build up for it, where you actually were like you're actually engaged in watching that. And then what I didn't like is the match at WrestleMania. The match at WrestleMania itself, because I don't know if it was sponsored by like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So the match itself had like the lights off, and it was like it was like the lights were off, and then it had nothing. It had all like not a rainbow, but like the neon colors against Dominic against Ray. So you build up this great storyline, and then you have it sponsored by like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which I get Rey Mysterio's was doing a thing with him, but why work so hard to build that storyline and then just kind of kill it with that Cinnamon Toast Crunch background scenario itself? Like that to me, I was like, I can't take this as serious as I want to take it for that reason. And I hate that it's just a minute thing, but it just kind of took me it took me out of that zone. That's just my impression of it.
Yep.
Sorry guys, really quick, let me address the comments. Mr. First Down Sam, there's only one man who needs that briefcase, LA Knight. So we'll talk about LA Knight. Blaze Radio, yo Mitch and crew, shout out to Blaze Radio. And again, Sam, please let Dom get smacked. He's a terrific heel. I just feel sick of Rhea or Judgment Day helps him win.
So
and then
I'm gonna piggyback on that. I actually have an idea of how it will keep both Cody and Dom kind of high going out of Money in the Bank into SummerSlam, and it's going to involve Dominic winning, and it would be interference from Brock. Because at this point, if you haven't figured it out yet, the SummerSlam match for Cody is going to be Brock Lesnar. It's going to be that rubber match where it's going to be the blow off of there, and the only way that you could get him involved is have him let Dom win. Like go in, F5 the fuck out of Cody, get out. Cody's like, oh no, I'm down. Dom gets the pin, done deal, everyone's set, and Dominic gets the heat that Theory was supposed to have coming out of Mania, where he gets to say, hey, I just beat Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that.
That is a good one.
That is a good one. Wrestle Sense Podcast said, and it's Blaze again. Shout out to you guys. Good stuff. Lil Spongy Official said, Mitch Kofsky. That's right. The man himself, Mitch. We're lucky to have him here today. And of course, Next Shift says, what's up, boys? What's up? How's it going, y'all?
What's going on, guys?
Mitch, what do you think? What do you think about that? What Justin just said?
I mean, it's common sense at this point. It really is. Like when WWE writing their creative, you can get something like a year in advance. Like I'm telling you right now, at SummerSlam, people are actually saying that Roman Reigns is going to lose to Cody at SummerSlam, which is not going to happen.
No.
I got Roman Reigns losing to Cody at Mania 40.
Yeah.
That is when it's going to happen. So,
do you think Cody is winning the Rumble, though, to get there, or do you think he's winning like some Elimination Chamber or something along the way?
I don't think he just won the Rumble. So for me, it's like I think he's going to win Elimination Chamber. Now, when it comes to the Rumble, for me, it's too soon. It's not going to be LA Knight. He's going to win Money in the Bank. So it's like, I don't know. I got to see. It could be a surprise entrant. Boom. That.
Yeah.
So we got WrestleSense Podcast has heard a rumor that Drew returns and somehow wins Money in the Bank.
I heard that too. If that happens after everything they've done to him in his personal life, that's a great moment for him. That's a great moment.
I could see it. I could see them dropping like Santos Escobar or Damian Priest out of the Money in the Bank contest or contract match and putting Drew in. I've been a big fan for a while. I was at the Rumble the year McIntyre won, so 2020.
Nice.
And I'm still upset that his entire title reign was behind closed doors. He never got that like moment of like, I got a belt in front of crowd. So I agree with you that it's 100% deserved, and I think Money in the Bank's the right way to do it.
Yeah, definite.
Okay. So overall, let's see. Justin, you were at the Royal Rumble this past year, is that correct? You went to San Antonio or no?
Yeah. Yes, I was at that one.
Yeah, I was at that one as well. And it just further adds on to my hatred for San Antonio's Alamo Dome. It's awful.
I've never been there.
I have you're not missing out, Mitch. You're actually not
not.
missing out. Yeah, I have a love. Rios knows I have a love.
We could spend a whole hour just shitting on San Antonio.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with San
The
Antonio.
city, the food, the locales.
Until
Was that any worse than Dallas?
What was that, Mitch? I'm sorry.
Until they get Wembanyama dispersed. I'm telling you.
Another reason to hate
Rios.
San Antonio. They can go to hell. That whole city.
With his terrible Tex-Mex food and all that.
Yeah.
No. What I was gonna say, the reason I brought
San
that up
Antonio is the Alabama of Texas, in my eyes.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow, that's a
Oh,
wow.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
got nothing to say to that.
I know, same. I don't even know what to say to that. How to follow that one up. But anyway,
Generational hate, sir. Generational
yeah, no kid.
hate.
Yeah. I got the gist of it. Thank you, Rios. No, what I was gonna say, you and I were both at that Rumble. So you brought up the point. Didn't Cody win that Royal Rumble? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Do you
did.
think he would win it? Do you think when you brought that up, do you think he would win it again for a second year in a row, back to back?
He'd be one of 3 people that did, and I think for him,
Mhm.
it would make the most sense going into the biggest match for his and Roman's career, because no matter who wins at 40, that's the biggest match.
And I'm
Roman-
going. So, yay.
Are you going?
It's in Philly.
Oh, that's
shit,
right.
man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
in Philly.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Mitch is definitely going.
I think it would be a good win. I think it's cheapened. The problem I had with him winning this year was, number one, once we got to 29, I was like, fuck, Cody's 30, he's winning it. Like, I
Yeah.
knew Cody was winning the Rumble. I wanted him to kind of come in at like 15 to 20. When he came in at 30, I was like, I mean, there's no
Yeah.
like spectacle to the win. I got it. He just came off injury. They wanted to protect him. 40, you need some type of stipulation. If it's a good booking, bring him in early, have him Iron Man it, maybe do the Rhea Ripley thing where he's like in and out for a little bit, but have him like earn that win and then go into Mania against his Moby Dick, his white whale, which would be Roman.
Yeah.
He has no reason to touch this belt with Seth. In fact, keep him as far away from the World Heavyweight Championship as you can for the next 4 months, 5 months. Get us to Survivor Series. Get through War Games if they actually do it again this year. And then from the moment after Survivor Series till the Rumble, build his ass up as like, I'm going to win the Rumble. Make him the first one to declare in. Make him the first one to say, hey, I'll take the number 1 spot. And then have him do something super awesome at the beginning, like throw out Lesnar or throw out like one of the Usos, and just build him up to get that Rumble win.
You know what else I could see though? I could see Solo Sikoa winning the Rumble, and then you could have him facing Roman at Mania.
You could. That would work. I mean, the thing that scares me about the Roman thing is whoever's taking the belt off of Roman, it's not there for the elation of like, I'm the top guy anymore. It's you're basically getting handed the keys to the castle. Solo was great.
Yeah.
I think Solo is amazing at what he's doing. Him and the Usos have no reason to be the guys to beat Roman. They're definitely championship material. I would say over the last 6 months, Jimmy and Jay have raised their stake, and Solo has. You need whoever's taking that belt off of Roman to be the guy who's going to be the banner child for the WWE indefinitely.
Basically, the face, basically, at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's either Seth or Cody at this point. It can't be Seth, because I think Seth is doing the Roman thing where he's slowly scaling back.
Right.
Give it to Cody. Let him be the face for a bit. It writes itself. He doesn't need a long run. No one needs as long of a run as Roman does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Agreed,
Yeah.
by the way.
Speaking of the Usos, this bloodline fracture is great. I can't wait to see Heyman play chess. I agree with that.
Yeah, and also what I could see right now, the Cody should have won it this past Mania because the pop was there, everything was stars aligned. But now when Cody wins it at 40, it's
Mhm.
like it's not going to be that big of a pop. I feel like they boosted it.
strongly disagree with at least him winning this year.
Okay.
I think, and I agree with Triple H's statement after the fact, where it was like everyone wanted that moment. Everyone wanted him to take the belt in the reign. I think I agree with him. We're just hitting the midpoint. You know, we had gone through Sammy joining the bloodline and dropping the bloodline. We had gone through Cody winning the Rumble and, you know, basically the month build after Montreal, where it was like, "Fuck your dad," everything like that. I'm his favorite. And then now we're getting to the point where it's this match. There's no need for him to win it, and because there's no need for him to win it, like it made like I'll admit when he lost that night, I was like deflated. I was like, "Damn it, he should have won." But now I'm going through it and I'm seeing it. I'm like, they know what they're doing. They're keeping like Cody is hotter now than he's ever been in AEW. He is hotter now than he ever was on the Indies. He's hotter now than he probably would have ever been coming back to WWE and winning a belt off of like Seth or something like that. Ride that as long as we don't mess up the next 6 months of booking. You can have him go into Mania next year, and whoever is in that attendance that night will lose it when Roman finally drops that belt to Cody. It's done.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's there. It's there. I just think the pop was there for that past one. That's what I feel like. And with Cody right now, if they somehow, some way have him lose again to Roman, it's like it's over. And then it makes no sense to me. I feel like he should have won there. And I feel like I forget what I was about to say. Fuck.
It's okay. We all do, Mitch.
I was like,
Yeah, let me. So I was going to bring up an interesting point. So I'm really actually looking forward to seeing this Seth Rollins versus I think it's Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor match. Is that correct for the World Heavyweight Championship?
Yes.
Or okay, that one to me, I'm a big fan of how do you call it? Seeing Finn Balor. I think if anybody's going to get it, I don't think Seth is going to lose it, but I'd like to see Finn Balor as a World Heavyweight Champion. I feel like he has that potential to be the champion. I like his in-ring performance. Big fan of it. And so I don't know. To me, I'd like to see him win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, I just remembered what I was about to say now.
Oh, go ahead, Rich.
So the only reason they had Roman Reigns win is because they wanted him to beat CM Punk's record. That's what I felt like. I was like, oh wow, thank God I just remembered that.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Seth is going to retain, but I do like again, long reigns don't mean anything if the story's not there. So like if Seth is going to retain at Money in the Bank, somehow get Balor Seth 2 at SummerSlam, story writes itself because like it's in this were either of you guys watching or any of you guys watching back when Universal was introduced 6 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you remember Seth popping Balor's shoulder completely out and then him popping back in the match and then finishing the match and still having to relinquish.
Yeah.
And it was at SummerSlam. So like roll that back. Like Rollins legitimizes the World Heavyweight in a pay-per-view. We get out of a premium live event, whatever your name is for it. We get to SummerSlam, have that match, have it come in, and then immediately the first challenger the night after SummerSlam is start devolving and breaking down the Judgment Day. Or at least get Damian out, because they're hinting at it anyways. Get Damian out, maybe bring JD Madonna in, and have Damian challenge Balor.
Yeah. Let me just address the comments real quick. It says, I wanted Cody to win at Mania 2, but giving Cody his own hard times has been brilliant in my opinion. Sam then wrote, I would just like the reason why Brock is thrashing Cody in random intervals. Do you think we ever will find out the reason why he's doing this? Will it tie back to Heyman? And finally,
generational hate. He beat the just because he wants to.
Yeah, because he can do what he wants. No. Seth open challenge on Monday versus Braun on Tuesday is wild. Love it. So he has to retain twice just to get to Finn.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's right. They are doing Seth versus
Braun. That's right.
Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
on Tuesday.
Totally saw it,
and if you know, Logan Paul is going to be on Raw Monday, so I feel like
that's
it's
right.
going to be Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Again.
Yeah, again.
Alright.
I'm not
Like,
mad. I like
I'm not
Logan
mad.
Paul.
no, Logan Paul can actually get it done, bro. Logan Paul, like
he can actually wrestle. He
Yeah.
can actually
Thank
wrestle.
you.
I'll give it. He can actually wrestle. I'll give him that. Like
Yeah.
usually the celebrities, like man, they try to protect him. Like he can actually, move in the ring.
Yeah.
I'll
Me
give
and
him that.
WrestleSense podcast went into a debate with a guy from our network, Philly Halftime, and he just goes like, "Oh, he doesn't look comfortable in the ring. He looks out of place." And we were just like, "Oh my lord!"
He looks more comfortable than Bad Bunny, and everyone was
That's
like
exactly what
crazy
I
Bad
said.
Bunny.
Yeah.
Look,
And then
I
he-
gotta say this. Don't get me wrong. I like Bad Bunny in there. Not cause of anything, but I actually enjoy it. Now, don't get me wrong.
He
Damian
surprised
Priest,
me.
Damian Priest deserves all the credit for that backlash match.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He deserves all that credit. I liked it because it felt that match was one of my top favorites just because it felt old school. It felt attitude. I mean, even when Bunny came out with the cart, that's a New Jack thing. Like that was like a small little homage to New Jack from ECW. And so I like that. To me that was fun. For that reason, but like I said,
I would
like
love to see Orange Cassidy versus the best. I mean, not Orange Cassidy. Jesus.
Orange Cassidy.
Cross it out,
Blaze is
man.
gonna record that. Blaze is gonna clip that. I know it. But anyway, I would love to see Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny in a ring, in a match.
Logan Paul. I could see that.
I could get behind it.
I'd pay to see that.
I'd pay to see that. That'd be pretty good.
Celebrity, like it'll be like a celebrity death match from back in the day. Remember those?
Hell yeah.
Oh man, celebrity death match. Oh man,
Look,
takes me
Logan
back.
Paul legitimized himself as a wrestler to me at the Rumble this year when he did that spot with Ricochet and they just collided in the middle. I was like, okay, you know what? You obviously are not just like going in and phoning this in. You're in on it. Okay.
And that's the thing though, because like you've had celebrities that have came into WWE and they just kind of did the bare minimum of anything. One that sticks out, and this is when I was a kid. Y'all remember? I don't know if y'all remember this part. Drew Carey came in at the Royal Rumble.
God.
Oh God, man,
I hated that.
I'm like, why is Drew Carey here, bro? Like,
Drew Carey?
He's not a fighter. What the?
Yeah, the one man I do respect though for taking those tombstones, Pete Rose. He took those tombstones like a champ.
Oh yeah.
Pete Rose took those tombstones like a champ. Really quick, Sam says, I was at SummerSlam in Nashville. Of course you were. I was really impressed when he and The Miz went at it. That leap onto the desk was epic. And then WrestleSense podcast said, Mitch loves Orange Cassidy.
Flip that and put it. I know him. I know him.
You walked right into it, sir.
Yeah, you kind of did.
I did it. Because I was watching AEW and Orange Cassidy was on TV.
Like still?
Damn, that's a long ass match, man.
It was a highlight.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I was
about to say, I was like, still?
That was like 40 minutes ago.
It's all that AEW's got at this point is Orange Cassidy and maybe a Jericho match.
So that brings me to my next point that I was going to talk about. I feel like we reached a good point in WWE right now. I want to talk about AEW. Now, a few weeks ago, we had Rios and I had one of our great friends that comes on our podcast, Andy McNamara, who's he's a Browns fan. Boo! And he's not only is he a Browns fan, but was that?
Did you see their new logo?
Yeah.
The dog.
That's the dog in him. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, that's the story.
It's an improvement over the last couple of logos. Look at him, that.
It is. And then suddenly, anyway, I had him on, and then I had Sam on right after him, and I love Andy. Andy's great. He has a lot of love for AEW, which is fine. That's his thing. But Sam came in afterwards, and he said AEW is a very mismanaged company. I wanted to get your thoughts on that, guys. Starting with you, Justin. What do you think about AEW? Do you feel like it's such a mismanaged company with Tony Khan?
100%.
Okay. Tell us. Sorry, before that, Mr. First Down, keep taking shots, Carlos. I will take you to the limit of Hell in a Cell.
Congratulations, player. You get a cage match.
Rios is drunk right now. You see him? And then Brown's new logo. Wow. And then Butterfly says, what does Austin 316 mean? It's a prayer.
I believe it means I just whooped your ass.
Yes, it does. It was made famous in that King of the Ring 1996 when Jake the Snake got beat. Austin cut a promo right afterwards, and it was pretty cool. I liked it. So that's what Austin 316 means. Just to give you a very small synopsis of it. Anyway, Justin, why do you think? Sorry, going back to our thing, Justin, why do you believe AEW is completely mismanaged with Tony Khan?
It starts from the top down. I don't know how many listeners know. Last September, the All Out press conference, CM Punk did a famous CM Punk thing where he pipe bombed on everybody. From that moment on, I lost all respect for Tony Khan, regardless if it's a shoot, regardless if it's a work. You have a talent who is considered to be quote unquote your top guy, sitting there blasting other wrestlers on live TV, blasting your management staff on live TV, and you're sitting there with a jaded smile on your face, like, oh my god, I get to sit next to my hero. That happens, and then over the next like 12 months, going into or 6 months, going into like now, he's just dirt sheets get a lot of stuff from AEW. You hear a lot of like, oh, the back isn't very great. You've got women's champions who don't want to work together and feel really catty. Thunder Rosa apparently was like treated like crap if you listen to her side of the podcast. And then it's like it's very much the phrase like letting the convicts run the prison, because it feels like Jericho and the Bucks are just like, yeah, fuck it, we can do what we want to do. And then a fight happens in the backstage after a press conference between your EVPs and two talent, and the best you can do is tell the talent, hey, we really need you to sell tickets. You're going to be on a completely separate show on a completely separate night. You won't touch the other talent. Nobody wants to work with you, but I got to bring you back in because I care more about ticket sales. And then I got a long problem with like the way he books the show. It's very boring. It's very archaic. It's very I haven't been a fan of the way he's like Tony Khan's booked the show since I'd say Cody left. And you can tell that with the way that Cody left, while it was very professional, he left for a reason. He went back to WWE for a reason. His whole shtick was, I'm the anti-fad. And for him to go back to WWE, something had to happen backstage. And it's just, I don't know. I watch the show. I'm not into it as much anymore. I'm tired of a lot of the same matches. I'm tired of Tony Khan constantly like pandering to Chris Jericho, who's a terrible person in real life. It feels like great wrestler. Love him as a wrestling gimmick. Love him in the ring. If you ever like hear him outside of his character, it's terrible. And then it's just like, it's very like you can tell he panders to everybody. It's like, oh, I got to be everyone's friend first, and there's no accountability.
Okay.
Stage.
I've heard that as well. That he does kind of cater to the wrestlers. I had a conversation with a buddy of mine, and we talked about how it feels like somebody else like kind of like needs to step in to actually grow a pair, or either that or grow a pair to actually like manage the company. From what I from what I was told too. So I see what your point is on there, Justin. Mitch, what do you think about AEW as a whole, as a company?
So with AEW, I'm always like in a fine line. I don't hate either company. I just love watching wrestling. So when it goes to like backstage stuff, I wish stuff was just handled differently. And when Tony Khan was making an announcement for CM Punk, he didn't really hype it up enough. He didn't show enough enthusiasm. He was just like CM Punk, and no one gave a crap. No one.
Are we talking the second time or the first time last year?
Second.
Oh yeah, no, the second
for AEW Collision.
Yeah, no, that was that was a wet fart announcement where he's like, "Oh yeah, CM Punk's gonna be the main event with FTR," and I'm like,
"Oh man,
okay, cool. Like, I guess that's our main event come Friday the 17th."
So it wasn't hyped up. There was no storyline behind it. It was just announced like that. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, and it's in Chicago. So
CM Punk's hometown.
They couldn't show it out either.
Really?
Show it out.
Keep in mind that this is now 14 months resolved from the last time they did a CM Punk return in Chicago. No one knew Punk was back. No one knew Punk was coming into AEW when the first dance happened, quote unquote. Sold out an arena with no announced card. Sold out an arena on the pretense that all anyone knew was there's a inkling CM Punk may be coming to AEW. And they sold that same arena out. Now, a year and some change later. It's not even to 50% sold, I think.
Do you think fans are now getting tired of the whole CM Punk thing?
Probably.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because he'll be there for a little bit, then gets hurt, and then he'll come back, and same story over and over.
It's the
Punch
same
somebody
thing
in the
that-
back or get in a fight with somebody. It's a cycle. Yeah.
The gimmick also, like the voice of the voiceless gimmick, doesn't work when it's the same song and dance you've been doing for now 10 years. It was
Yeah.
cool in 2013. It was cool when WWE was the only thing, and you could go like, "Hey, guess what? I might go back to Ring of Honor. Hey, Colt Cabana. Hey, this, hey that." But now in 2023, where the internet's alive and well, we have access to so much information. Obviously, CM Punk has burned a lot of bridges on TV
Yeah.
through his mouth. It's not the same, and I think he's not the same draw now that he was a year ago.
Oh no, that's why they have different brand splits. A lot of the wrestlers don't want to work with CM Punk anymore, so that is why they have two separate shows. So CM Punk and whoever wants to work with him, and everyone else on AEW, Dynamite. So that's another reason right there.
Ready to see a lot of FTR versus CM Punk then.
Oh, we're gonna see that. We're seeing that on Saturday night.
So let's go back to what you said about Orange Cassidy, Mitch. So you're even before I asked the question, your favorite wrestler. How? When did you finally get tired of the Orange Cassidy gimmick?
Okay, so when it was just like it's so played out, in my opinion, just like the hands in his pockets. Look what I can do. The soft kicks. I'm like, it is what it is, and I will never forget this. I was on the phone with my friend. And I'm like, dude, I can't stand this Orange Cassidy gimmick. I just can't. And then he goes, Mitch, it's the best thing ever. And I called him a couple months later, and I'm like, is it still the best thing ever? He goes, no.
Oh, you're tired of it. Okay.
He goes, no. And I just can't stand it anymore. And when I tweet out stuff like, I hate Orange Cassidy, he's going to lose, people DM me, like, all offense. They were like so mad at me. Like, they were like, what are you doing? Orange Cassidy's great. I'm like, bro, like, what? When is it the fine line? The fine line. Oh, look, the elite. Cool. But, yeah, it's a fine line. I can't stand it.
Yeah. Light Body. When did you get tired of him?
When did he win their version of the Intercontinental Revolution?
It had to be Revolution.
Yeah.
Revolution,
If whenever he won their Intercontinental, I was the All Atlantic. Thank you.
Atlantic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I like at that point I was like, cool, you're gonna do the same gimmick. He needs to change it. It's so mellow, dramatic now in 2023 or in this age of 2023 because it's like, he's gonna do the soft kicks and then it's like pockets go in, hands go in pockets. All of a sudden he's gonna go up to 11 and I'm like, it's coming.
I think what really got me with the AEW, and don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of both. I love watching both, so I don't really have like a dog in this fight. I actually like watching both of them. What really got me now, of course, there's negatives to both companies. Of course, we all know the creative with WWE at times is mess it up, or whenever Vince McMahon gets really, really involved, whenever he's changing things remotely or whatnot.
He doesn't work there, remember? He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't work there.
He's there strictly on consultation basis.
Yeah, he's consulting every Monday or whatever, and so
every Monday, Friday.
Yeah, I think there's a negative to both. With AEW, what really struck me was I feel like a lot of gimmicks are getting a little bit played out. I do feel that my biggest issue with AEW, and I think I was talking to my buddies about this maybe about a year and a half ago. I can't remember now. It was the fact that every time a WWE wrestler got released, it almost seemed like they had to go out of their way to get them. And then eventually you got so many on the roster that you didn't know what to do with them. I think I just finally saw a thing with Miro. I haven't seen anything with Miro in a while. I get he was injured or something, but I haven't
they just
really
didn't use him for a year.
I thought he was injured.
No, he is literally
no.
He has just been off TV for a year.
He's wrestling at Collision on Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah,
it's the same thing like Andrade hasn't been used in a year, and everyone was like he's injured, and it's like nope, he's just not being used.
Well, Andrade got away with punching Sammy Guevara in the face and still got paid for a whole year though.
I mean, to be fair, I
Yeah.
want to punch Sammy Guevara in the face
I mean.
sometimes.
But still, but it goes back to what you said, Justin. It's the mismanagement thing. Because like if it was like if it was like somebody else, he would have probably been either fined and maybe even let go, right? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, Andrade as he was something in WWE in AEW. I think they gave him the black mask kind of a thing, and then he never really did anything with it.
No.
It grew stale, like the actual gimmick itself grew very, very stale.
It didn't
Um,
help that they also paired him for one of his first major feuds with Matt Hardy, in that like
mhm,
weird. Matt Hardy was doing the cash money Matt thing, and
mhm,
Andrade was being bought out by him. Like that whole thing was just like no one cared.
mhm.
Andrade should have like been a copy paste job from WWE. Put him with like hot valet that can walk down the street and talk to him or talk for him, because the man can't carry a promo, and just have him wreck shop on like, I think Mox was the champion at the time. Have him wreck
Right.
shop on Mox. Don't put the belt on him, but raise him up to that level if you want him to be that way.
But even then, like, remember they had a guy to do that for Penta. He had a whole gimmick, Penta says, and then after that, I don't know what happened to that whole gimmick either. Like they could have used something like that for Andrade.
Yeah, could have. I think
Yeah.
there was at one point he was planned to be with Chavo Guerrero, and then Chavo's like, I'm out.
Yeah, he went to Hollywood, I think. Now he does like stunts for Hollywood or something like that, or something like that. He does something for Hollywood. That's all I know. Chavo. But yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah, I do feel like AEW is mismanaged.
How do you?
They
Can
have.
I inject on something with that?
Yeah, go for it.
How do you feel about, like, to the mismanagement point, the MJF thing with him like constantly shooting I'm gonna just take the fucking belt and go to WWE.
I'm getting tired. Like I love MJF. MJF is to me, he's great. He's homegrown from from AEW or
Mhm.
whatnot. I do love how he cuts his promos. The only thing I think that kind of gets me now a little bit is every time he says, "I'm gonna take my ball and go home to another company." He keeps mentioning another company or WWE, like the name drops of WWE or hinting him leaving to WWE. I'm a little tired of it, in my opinion.
I mean, that's Tony Khan though. That's Tony Khan
Right.
tells them to just go out and say whatever they want, and if that's the best you can do, like, to your point, somebody needs to be in that position and say like, hey, this is getting
Can't
old.
say this. Mm-hmm.
Or if you're gonna say it, quit name dropping the competition, because it's
Right?
poor taste.
Free
Yeah.
promo at that point.
Yeah, that, and it's just like it's just getting it got a little annoyed. I get they were going for the shock value because back then, whenever I mean, do you remember that promo? I think it was like a Sami Zayn promo when he name dropped AEW when AEW was cut up and was that first whatever the debut show that they did, and then it was a shock value, right?
Yeah.
And then when they did it a few times in AEW, shock value again, but then the more it gets played out after a while. So after a while, that shock value just kind of goes away. I was like, oh, here we go again. Like if me that I'm not that I don't watch it religiously like you guys do, or in general anybody really that watches it. If I'm already getting tired of it, I can't imagine how everybody else feels.
I
See what I'm
think the
saying?
best way to handle it was Roman had a cut against Cody in the build up to Mania, and he was just like, "You started your own promo, and you still couldn't get over," and that was all he had to say. And the fans were just like, "Okay, there's your shot on AEW, thank you," and it was perfect. And it was a one-time
subtle.
deal. Yeah, it was subtle. It was one
It's
time. I
subtle.
think it was a month before Mania, so like people knew about it, and we would talk about it in like wrestling circles. But no one was ever like, "Yo, did you hear Roman take a shot at Cody again on about AEW last week?" It was like, "Yo, go watch this promo because it's actually really good and there's a fun pot shot." And he left it alone.
Yeah.
But MJF comes out every week, and it's, to your point, it's, we know he's going to say something about 2024 and his contract, and then finally, like, if I'm still champ, the belt's going with me, and I'm like, we get it. You need to, like,
We get it. You're leaving. Like, way to go, bro.
and then when you stay and you admit that you signed a new contract, it's the value's gone.
It devalues what you're saying too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mitch, what do you think about that, bud?
I love MJF. I do. With his promos and everything. But to me, I've been thinking about this a while with MJF. How much longer can he hold the title for?
Mm-hmm.
How much longer? Like, for me, he had a great match. Started this AEW with Adam Cole. That was a great match. I loved it. He can put on good matches, but when is it the time to pull the plug? They're not going to do it with him and Fight Forever dropping. So I think he's going to hold it till 2024. That's my guess. So.
I mean, who do they have that can take it off of him? It'd be if they put it back on John Moxley. The narrative becomes great. They put it back on somebody who's won it 3 times already. Daniel Bryan has openly said, Bryan Danielson has said openly he's not there for a title. He doesn't want it. Could give it to Cesaro and have that fan favorite moment, but he's not built up.
No, I love Claudio. He's my favorite.
Claudio, yeah.
And then it's like the only person I could think of is like a second reign of Jericho, but I don't want that personally.
Jungle Boy?
No, I can't see.
No.
Fan favorite wise, maybe, but I can't see like I don't know.
Jungle Boy winning it would have to be like a Money in the Bank situation where it's like he's coming in on a defeated MJF, and it's like, hey, I'm getting a quick turnaround.
You mean like that gold coin thing?
Yeah, the chip thing they do.
Yeah.
The cat
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could do that. Jungle Boy. I've heard talks of Sammy being the next one on the rung. That'd be cool.
Like that.
That'd be cool. In a way, but to Carlos's point, like every person I think of who's quote unquote a top guy in AEW came from WWE, and it's like when I think about it, I'm like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to really see Keith Lee be a world champion, not in AEW. I wouldn't want to see him. Miro makes no sense. He's fizzled out faster than I think of.
I mean, the only one I can actually think of right now is Darby Allin. But then it goes in the same thing with Jungle Boy. And then you have one of my supporters really loves Powerhouse Hobbs. And I'm like, and I'm like, no, not that. So it is really tough. I just like, I don't know.
One of my friends in my circle had thrown the idea out there of Wardlow. Like Wardlow being the one to take it off as like a super babyface, take it off MJF.
I mean, that makes no sense.
Would you know who the one that I haven't heard from that I'd like to see? It's been about Brian Cage. You remember Brian Cage?
Oh, he's released and only performing through Ring of Honor. He is not on AEW. Yeah, they pulled him off of a AEW contract.
Really, I like Brian Cage. Brian Cage, I think, had a lot of potential in him, dude.
He did.
I loved him in Lucha Underground.
Oof.
Yeah.
God, who didn't love Lucha Underground?
Lucha Underground was it?
You didn't like Lucha Underground? I loved it.
I did. I liked it. It took me, it's funny. It took me a while to realize that Prince Puma was Ricochet.
Yeah.
Until I saw a tattoo.
Yes, I was laughing.
Yeah. No. So I wanted to shed a little light on this. The next AEW paper. I think it's Forbidden Door, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So Forbidden Door. I wanted to look at these matches. So the matches I'm looking at right now, it's okay. Sonata versus Jungle Boy. What was that?
They just announced a match for MJF. I'm about to pull it up.
Yeah, with Hiroshi.
Yeah, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Yes.
Yeah.
God.
What do y'all think of that one? Let's start off with that one. MJF is gonna win it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But it's gonna be a banger. Tanahashi.
It's gonna be a good one. Mm-hmm.
That's the New Japan ace. That's banger. And then you got Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega, yeah.
That I'm looking forward to that MJF the MJF against Hiroshi Tanahashi. That's the one that I really do want to see. I always like watching Omega fight. Omega just I've seen him fight for a while also, and I'm a big fan of his fighting style. Then you also got Bryan Danielson versus Okada. Yep. And then I did say Jungle Boy versus was it Sonata?
Yeah.
And
which that's gonna be cool because that's for the IWGP heavyweight. So like the fact that they're putting Jungle Boy up against their champion is that's a good rub.
Mm-hmm. So that pay-per-view actually looks pretty promising. I'm not gonna lie on that one. That one looks pretty good.
It does. And then they have an AEW talent who's holding the IWGP Women's Championship because she took it. Willow Nightingale took it off of Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
And now, like, a lot of people are like, "What if the injuries cleared up by the end of the by that time that pay-per-view happens?" So it's like, ooh, give me that one.
Happen. She's not going to be back in.
You don't think she's gonna? You don't think she's gonna be there?
She's not going to wrestle, but if I were them, I would have
An
her
appearance.
Like, let's say hypothetically, does Saraya have a match? No.
No, I don't see anything on the card for that.
I'm just saying, if she did and she won, then you have Mercedes Moné walk down because of the whole back injury thing.
Right.
Oof, that would be
kind of cool, and you could set a storyline from there too.
You could. There'd be so much to tell through that, though.
That would be a good one, having Mercedes Moné, and then like you said, I can't remember her name now, but Paige. Saraya, thank you. Come on in and then just build a story from. Dude, that's like Justin, you said earlier, the story writes itself.
Yep.
There's an example of it. Prime example. The story can write itself right there. You don't have to name drop the company. You can just say we have history, and then people will know exactly what you're talking about.
Like where the history came from. Like easy.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter where they came from because it could literally be you took my career from me and now I'm back.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I'm gonna take it again, and then just have the winning spot be like a backbreaker to Paige from Mercedes or something like that, where it's the other way around. You need Paige to backbreak Mercedes.
It's kind of like do you remember the Shawn Michaels Triple H thing from SummerSlam 2002? That whole build-up.
Yep.
For like the injury. Yeah, that right there, something along those lines. You know, the back being like the vulnerable part or whatever, like that right there. That could be some storyline right there, man. I'd like to see that. Yeah.
Mercedes is still on a New Japan contract, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So there you go. That's the opening right there, dude.
And actually, we're at the Hardcore Sports Network. We're actually doing a watch along of the Forbidden Door. So
nice.
If you want to join, you're more than welcome.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mitch, when is it? Just to make sure, not when is it, but tell us exactly when you're doing this so our viewers can come.
All right. I forget when's the exact date. It's not this weekend.
June 25th.
June 25th. Yes, at the Hardcore Sports Network, we're gonna do a watch along the whole thing. I may not be on there because I'm coming back from vacation, so I'm gonna be exhausted. But we have great guys there, so. Yeah, I think we're starting in at 6:40. So if you guys want to join, let me know. I'll give you all the link.
Nice.
Sounds good. I'd be down.
Sounds good.
Now,
you know what? I just realized I'm gonna be coming back from. I'm gonna be going to vacation myself. I'm going out of the country that day on the 25th.
I'm only going to the Jersey Shore, but it's gonna be a long day back.
He's going to come back with a tan and spiky hair.
I was going to say, yeah. Mitch comes back with spiky hair and a tan.
Yes, a Jewish guy with the tan. Yeah, I'm just telling you, if you guys want to join, you're more than welcome. I'll send you all the link.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'm going to be exhausted. So.
Oh, for sure. No, I appreciate it. Yeah. All right, guys. We're coming on the hour, so we're going to call it for today. I'd love to have you guys on again. One of these Wednesdays that we're doing a few of these shows throughout the summer. So this was episode 1, and I want to thank you guys for joining me. Don't go just yet. I'm about to end the show, but don't go just yet. Thank you guys for like I said, coming on. I want to give please follow Mitch Kofsky and the Hardcore Sports Network at Hardcore Sports _ and Mitch's Twitter is at Mitch Kofsky.
Yep, you got it right there.
There you go, at Mitch Kofsky. I want to thank you, Rios, again for joining me. As always, you never leave. Please, God, one day you have to not join me for something. I hate your face. I hate everything about you. You drunken old man.
It's got stuck. Oh,
yeah. It's because you're arthritis. That's why. Anyway, and I want to thank my buddy Justin. Thank you, man, for joining us on the show, man. It was great having you on and sharing your knowledge of wrestling with us and your opinions, of course. All right, brother. No problem. All right, don't go just yet. I'm about to end the show. All right, y'all. Join us this Saturday when we have Scott Cove on the show for It's Live Saturday night. That's going to be it for us today. Peace.
See you guys.